Okay, this video is about the old saying, give them an inch and they'll take a foot when it comes to gun control. And that's true. We've all seen that quite a bit. So, versus the we need to do something, gun control. Well, here's the thing is, we've all noticed when you do give an inch, they do tend to want to take a foot, the anti-gun people. And look, we all want to stop this stuff. We all want to do things. We all have ideas, but neither side can sit down and negotiate, not give. There's a difference between negotiating and giving. For example, having 2 police officers in the school already stationed there. That's their duty post or something, with AR-15s. Versus the argument of, well, I don't want my kids growing up seeing people carrying guns. I don't want my grade school kids in school with armed police officers, armed police, armed teachers. Okay, but we're going to have to realize that we both need to be able to come to the table to be able to come to the table. If both sides aren't willing to sit back and say, okay, what are some things we can do? This whole thing of banning guns, we should ban this. We have 400 million guns. They're not going anywhere. If we made guns illegal today, the only people that would have them are the criminals. They're not going to turn over their guns. They're criminals. If we put guns everywhere and made it where, shall not be infringed, everyone could have a gun, period, then we're going to have more dumbasses, and you can see that video in here. I did make a video on that. We're going to have more dumbasses with guns. So we've got to be able to come to the table. It's basically give an inch versus gun control. So, some of the things that, just like, for example, we need to ban AR-15s. Well, one shooter used a 9mm pistol. Now it's, we got to get rid of the 9mm because it blows your lungs out. We can save you if you're only shot with a 22. The only problem with, let's say we did that. The only problem with the 22 is it's not effective enough. I mean, I sure as heck wouldn't want to be shot with it. But, who knows how many times you'll be stabbed by a deranged drug addict. And you could be with a 9mm too, but a 9mm is more effective. A 22 is just ineffective. And it's not going to do enough kinetic energy and damage to be able to really be a good round. So we've all got to come to the table with an open mind and to be able to negotiate. No compromise. I understand that, and I agree with that, and I am kind of in that realm of, if you give them an inch, they'll take a foot, because generally the anti-gun people are people who don't know anything about guns, and they have these dumb ideas, like the infamous muzzle shroud that Tucker Carlson got that one senator on. But no compromise doesn't have to, we don't have to compromise. We can agree that, hey, everybody takes a background check. Okay. We can give that. We gave on gun locks, although all of us pretty much throw those in a box. I mean, I do. Occasionally they come in handy, but it didn't hurt anything. Of course, though, it can be argued, well, we gave on the gun locks thing, and then next thing you know, we have an assault weapons ban of 94, which did not work, by the way. One could argue that it did work because people didn't use assault weapons, so-called assault weapons, AR-15s, whatever. Call them what you want, but they still used other means, other pistols. So it's really easy to say we both have to come to the table and negotiate, but it's just hard to actually do because nobody wants to really negotiate. They want it their way, and it all comes down to politics. For the most part, nothing's going to be done because of politics. For example, Joe Biden can't say, well, you know what, maybe I was a little wrong on 9mm. It's not so bad. That's going to piss off all kinds of liberals. And, conservatives, for the most part, can't come down and say, well, you know what, background checks for everyone might not be such a bad idea in this day and age. So it's real hard to come to the table and negotiate. So what do we do? I don't know. Like, for example, when President Trump banned bump stocks. Bump stocks are stupid. They're a novelty. They're pretty much useless in my opinion. However, we let that slide and other stuff starts popping up. Oh, well, we need to ban certain triggers now. And it's like, giving them an inch, and they took a foot. Trying to take a foot. Even though bump stocks, what was it, used once? And he could have done that without the bump stock and probably been more effective, that Las Vegas shooter. But anyway, I mean, he was shooting into a crowd of hundreds from a tall building. I mean, he could have done that blindfolded and probably hit that many people. It's common sense, things that we need to look at. Did that really help anything? No. People who are real, who really want to learn how to shoot, bump stocks, it's a novelty thing. You can do things with your belt and your finger and still bump fire. You don't need a bump stock. I actually have a video on there showing how fast you can shoot without a bump stock, if you want to look it up. But I think it's called No Bump Stock Needed or something like that. I don't know. But it's a matter of coming to the table. We're going to have to negotiate. But it has to be stuff that's real common sense, not liberal common sense. Not people who don't know any. Liberals need to find people who know about guns but also agree, and sit down with people who know about guns but disagree, and maybe they can work something out. That's what you really need. You can't have Joe Biden talking to Eric Pratt and trying to negotiate. Clearly, besides Joe Biden being senile, I mean, obviously, or Chuck Schumer, with the NRA. I mean, I wish the NRA and a lot of, the Brady campaign could sit down and talk and say, here's what we think, and have experts on both sides, real live experts, not Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden and his lung-busting 9 millimeters. But to be able to actually sit down and talk and negotiate some real things that will make a difference without infringing on anyone's rights. A background check on everybody, I'm willing to give you that. But you've got to give me something like maybe, reciprocity in all states. If you have a permit in Kentucky, your permit, like a driver's license, should be good in every state. Let's uniform that. There are people who cross an imaginary line and go to prison. That's not common sense. Someone who's perfectly legal in Pennsylvania and illegal in New York. That's not common sense. Let's do some stuff like that. Sit down. I don't know how to do this. I don't know, if we the people can get people to do it. Probably not. Politicians are pretty much on their own now. They do their own things, regardless of what the constituents want. But people are going to have to sit down at the table and negotiate. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. More to come. Thank you.